This is the off season.
The voice in your ears is Perfect Pervis, and welcome to the off season. So today I'm going to talk about book ideas I have. As I close in on the big 4-0. Yeah, I'm old as fuck. You don't have to tell me. I know about it. I'm getting closer to it, okay? I've been procrastinating on writing a book for far too long. So I want to discuss 5 ideas I have and maybe figure out which ones are more realistically worth writing about in the very near future. But it's 2023. I mean, if I start one of these by the end of this year, that'd be pretty good. And I could say 2024 or 2025, I actually have published a book. Or that really just depends on if I actually start this year, which I think I should. But let's go over some of the ideas. Originally, I wanted to have like 10 ideas, but I really couldn't come up with 10 that I felt passionate about or felt like I wanted to do. So I only came up with 5. So, first book idea, again, I don't have like working titles or anything, but just an idea is writing a nonfiction book with a collection of import stories. If anybody has followed me, like my media online, I did the import series for about 2 or 3 years. I have over 100 stories from imports all over Europe playing football. And yeah, it's dated now, but it wouldn't be hard to update those stories as well as add new stories and, include some of the new changes that are going on in the landscape. Kind of like a self-help book, but more like a documentary, really. Like it would be a collection of the stories. So obviously, like, be separated by like what countries people are in, and then everybody's experiences would be in the story, maybe include photos or something. But it'd be a good book for people to just kind of get a glimpse of the life of imports without necessarily having a narrative. And that's why I think it'd be a really good like project. Only problem is it would be one of those things like I'd have to do it within like a 1 year frame so that it would be accurate and up to date. And then there's also like I would have to date like when interviews were taken and when they were done so people would understand the changing climate of the times as well. But I really feel like that's something I should do. Like I have over 100 interviews in my database right now, and I could probably do another 100 in the next year and put out a book with 200 different stories, maybe even 250, honestly. But it would take a lot of research and work from my on my part, and then formatting and getting someone to edit wouldn't be that hard. But really getting all the information together, gathering it, and then laying it out, I'd be researching. I'd also probably need to go to a couple of more countries and, flush it out. Like, do I want to do all of Europe or just Western Europe? And again, I'm just talking out loud on the podcast, but collection of import stories, that's probably something I really need to do. Next idea is a story about import players, but a fictional story, like football in Europe. And instead of doing, a collection of like interviews that are documented, it would be more like a storyline of following a certain amount of imports and, putting them in a fictional world and letting that story be told. Obviously, it'd be based on some true events, but I'd have the leeway to create a narrative and create a story that people could follow and kind of keep up with. Again, I think it would be similar to the nonfiction version. Like it would be a series, but I don't think it'd be like a collection of stories. I think it would be, like the import, or it'd be called like football in Europe or something. I don't know what the title would be. I still don't have a title. But it'd be like year one, and you'd see a couple of guys from different backgrounds, and they'd be getting into football in Europe, and they would cross paths, and there'd be certain stuff going on. It'd kind of be like a young adult story. Maybe we talk about, what they do in their free time, and then maybe how they interact with people from different countries. Throw in a couple realistic facts to, let you know that it's based on real stuff, but then also keep it very general and entertaining so people don't think, oh, that's me as a character type stuff. And then maybe release it at a certain time in the year and then start working on year 2. And maybe it could be a collection of years. I mean, it doesn't have to be called year 1 or year 2 either. It could be book 1 or book 2, it could be some Harry Potter type stuff. Not saying like it's going to be like magic, but it could be different books and there could be a story that you could follow based on the lives of imports. And of course, I'd create the characters based off of people that I know and stuff, and get consultants from different people in Europe. I think again, this is an idea I would love to do, but I really would have to be focused on character development and writing. It's possible if I was able to put my mind to it. I'm pretty sure I could do that. That would be exciting. And also, with it being fiction, it wouldn't have to be factual. And I'd be able to kind of let my creativity come in sometimes and create a better story than what happens in real life. So that would be pretty cool. I think those are only like true import stuff. But again, moving on, another idea is a book of perfect Pervis sayings, maybe slash like motivational quotes. I've been told, and I'm not trying to brag, I've been told I should write a book based on stuff I tell people. Like I've said some things that people enjoy and think, oh man, that makes sense. Like more people should know about it. If you follow my Facebook, I put out some controversial sentences every once in a while just to get the mind going. And maybe I should put that in a book. I've at one time I attempted to I used to tag my post on my original Facebook account. It'd always be like dash perfect if it was an original like thought or quote by me. And I've tried to accumulate those and put those into a book, which I still could do that. Like I actually have accumulated all those posts where I use that dash perfect. And I could probably put like the most interesting or funny ones in there. Only thing that I'm having trouble with this concept is like a topic slash idea of it. Like I feel like, how do I say this without coming off as weird? I feel like it's just random. Like a lot of what I'm saying is very random about different topics, so you could get lost in the book. Like they don't make sense. Like it's not all motivational. It's not all like common sense. Like it's just so many different things. Not all about sports. Not all football. Like some of it's pop culture. Some of it's not. So I would have to, cut that down a little bit and trim it into some type of focus. And that's probably what would make that the hardest to do for this idea, is that I would have to really focus those sayings based on what I've already said. And then maybe I would have to add more sayings. I don't know. So again, just an idea. Again, I haven't said this either, but if you like any of the ideas and you think I should do them, let me know. I'll see what I can do based on, fan approval. Next idea would be a book of poems. Now, I am not a poet, but shit, why not? Like, I can write, I can rhyme. I know how to do a haiku, I think. I look it up anyways. I feel like I'm pretty good with the pen. Like, I'm pretty good at writing. My vocabulary is pretty good in English. Well, it was before I moved to Finland. But now that I've had to dumb it down a little bit, it's not as good as it was. But a book of poems, I feel like I could put together a couple of things. It'd be a raunchy book. Like the way I talk and the way I act, obviously that would have to come out in my poems, but I think I would be able to say some nice things and some thought provoking things in an elegant way that people would respond to. I just don't know if I want to sit down and do that. But why not also? Like it could be a small book of poems. Maybe it could be, perfect purpose top 10 poems or something. Yeah, I probably put 50. It's a book, so obviously I'll do more. But I can write pretty well, and I've done poems before, just haven't never really published any of them. But I think if I was to like get into that mindset of okay, I'm gonna be writing consistently, I could do that, and it would come out pretty good. So that's another idea. Last idea is playing football overseas guide, like a self help book. I've done a few articles on, different ways to get involved with playing football overseas. I've actually done something called the Import Guide online. If you just check out the Podium website, a lot of those articles about playing overseas I've written. But, putting one of those into a full length book and just kind of explaining how some people, get involved into playing football overseas, and how some people continue it and how other people help other people. Like just a guide. I guess I'm calling it a self-help book because it would obviously be targeted towards people who are already in Europe or people who want to be in Europe but don't know anything about it. So it'd be very basic, but I think it could be informative. Even when I'm talking to people here in Europe about football in Europe, the biggest obstacle that we all have is, sharing of information, people knowing what's going to happen before it does. or people explaining what did happen somewhere afterwards. You know, people have good and bad experiences, but how does everyone else find out if we're not collectively sharing information? Well, this guide would kind of be that place. It would be the place where you could be told like what's going to happen or what to expect in very general and broad terms. Yeah, so that's what that would be. Those are my ideas. I'll go over them again just in case you were listening and forgot. Do like a collection of import stories, like interviews based on what imports have like their experience have been, or do like a nonfiction book series based on playing football in Europe, the import lifestyle. Also, doing a book of like quotes or sayings that I like to write or have that of my own. And then the fourth one was book of poems. You know, I could get into poetry, start writing. It would be a challenge because I'd be able to like do something I haven't done a lot of, but also that's what would be so much fun about doing it. Then the last one is like a self help book for people who want to play or coach overseas and how you can go about doing it. I'm qualified to do that, so I could definitely do it. I think that last one I'm probably less likely to do because the amount of research it would take would be daunting to make it accurate. You know me, I'm very much an accurate type of guy. But yeah, those are 5 book ideas I have for 20, well, not for 2023, but in general. When this comes out, I don't know where I'll be mentally, but if you think any of these ideas are really good, or if you could help me with any of these or want to, let me know. Maybe we can make something happen. But that's it for this very short episode. So I appreciate you listening to me and keep rocking with me until next time. This is the off season.
This is the off season.